Tripeople of Mindanao. So first, what is Mindanao? The southern Philippines principally comprises the island of Mindanao and the Sulu archipelago. The region is a majestic tapestry of both natural and cultural abundance, unifying the thread of its ethnically diverse people across geographic boundaries. It is the second largest island group next to Luzon. Mindanao has been dubbed the country's land of promise because of its promising natural resources. So we all know that Mindanao is known as the land of promise in the Philippines, although some people believe that being in Mindanao is dangerous because of the violence, bombings, and kidnappings perpetrated by the bandits. However, we are unaware that Mindanao is the home to a large and diverse population, a large group of people who live in a place where peace and harmony are valued above all else. So, who are the Tripeople of Mindanao? We have the Moro or Muslims, Lumad, and last is the Christian settlers. The traditions among Tripeople. Lumad is a generic term for the non-Muslim and non-Christian tribal groups or cultural communities in Mindanao are also very diverse. Moreover, there is some overlap, such as the Highland Christianized Maranao. These ethnic groups make up approximately 5% of the total Mindanao population, according to the 1990 census. Lumad is the Cebuano term meaning native or indigenous. The term Lumad is the ascribed collective name of the indigenous peoples of Mindanao. Lumad tribes are a group of Austronesian indigenous people and originated here in the southern Philippines. There are about 14 to 17 million indigenous people in the Philippines. The communities of Lumadnon are mostly settled in upland mountainous area where they depicted as mountain dweller. So it is a general term for people who live in the hills or in the mountains. Traditionally, Lumadnon are Sweden cultivators who also depends on fishing, hunting, and trade of forest product as well as locally manufactured items. Now let's discuss about material culture. First is the local pottery. It is the consumption and distribution of domestic items like cooking pots and local status goods such as elaborately decorated earthenware required in ritual and mortuary rites were facilitated by more informal or localized interactions between different Lumad groups as well as their other trading partners. This is one of their hanap buhay. They sell different creative handmade products to sustain their needs. The second one is basketry. Baskets have been common in most Lumad households. Made in different shapes and sizes, these were used for various purposes, when gathering food items, forest products and harvest, carting meat of animals that have been caught, and keeping both personal and household items. The common raw materials in creating these baskets are rattan, abaka, nito, tikog, buri, kawayan, pandan, coconut leaves and sticks, palm leaves, and beeswax. The third one is the tinalak, the sacred art of weaving. Tinalak is the traditional Tiboli cloth, particularly referring to woven abaka. Textiles with the indigenous three-color ikat designs. The item means black, the hulu means red, and bukay means white colors. Today, it is more often worn during special occasions and events outside their communities. The Tiboli is part of the 18 Lumad ethno-linguistic here in Mindanao. Mao ni ang traditional weaving cloth sa mga Tiboli diri sa South Cotabato. Tinalak cloth is gikan sa mga abaka fibers. Ang mga babae nga weavers kay ginatawag nila as dream weavers because the pattern of the tinalak cloth are inspired by their dreams. The next one is the metal smithing. Metalsmith, or simply a craft person fashioning useful item out of various metal. The Lumadnon are often characterized by their extensive collection of highly prized brass and silver ornaments and bladed weapons. Among the Lumadnon, the Bagopo and Tibuli have distinctive metalwork traditions deeply embedded in their society. It's the process of creating kitchenwares, metalwares, tablewares, jewelries, and weapons with the use of various metal tools. The next one is the hunting and trapping games. Hunting is a part of the traditional subsistence system in most Dumad communities. The hunters are usually male, are experts in different kind of tools used in gaming and keeping hunting dogs, trained to help locate and capture game. Panganob ang tawag sa mga hunting games in Manobo. And now, let's talk about their musical instruments. Music is part of most ceremonial ritual and social gathering of Lumad groups. The indigenous musical instruments of southern Philippines are composed of percussions, string and wind instruments made of brass, wood, and bamboo. Left side it is called kutsapi. The right side it is called tangkol. Barrel chewing. It is significant among the Bukidnon Manobo as a form of medication. Mama is usually kept for personal consumption, shared as a gesture of friendship or hospitality with visiting guests who may be an acquaintance or a stranger, or used as part of a ceremonial offering. Tattooing. They say tattooing complete their womanhood and symbolize strength. They believe that one's tattoo serve as a guiding light in the afterlife. In Manobo's belief, kung wala daw sila'y tattoo, kuhaon daw sila sa higante. Their tattoo is nagpamatuod nga sila lumad. Traditional clothing. It was commonly made from fabrics of woven abaca, decorated with elaborate and intricate designs. The visual feast of color, texture, and patterns convey the combination of their own and adaptive beliefs and practices. They have their own unique costume that makes them distinctive other tribes in the Philippines. This costume reflects the way of life.
Manubo. The name may came from Mansuba from man, person, or people, and Suba for river, meaning river people. The first Manobo settlers lived in northern Mindanao. At present, Manobo tribes can be found at the hillsides and river valleys of the northeastern part of Cotabato. They said to be a good agriculturist that are more likely bringing their goods to the probinsya to sell and to earn money. The females are primary weavers while the males are farmers. The male is allowed to marry multiple of wives. They also have their own martial art called iskapi. They also incline to music. One of their most known used in musical instrument is kojapi. The Manobo are several people groups who inhabit the island of Mindanao in the Philippines. They speak one of the language belonging to the Manobo language family. Their origins can be traced back to the early Malay peoples who came from the surroundings in islands at Southeast Asia.
Manobo tribe is the largest among all 18 ethno-linguistic Loma tribes in the Mindanao. What is Muslims? Muslims are people who follow or practice Islam and Abrahamic monotheistic religion. The word Muslim derives from Arabic and means submitter. Muslims considered Quran, their holy book, to be verbatim word of God as revealed to the Islamic prophet and messenger Muhammad. They believed that Jesus was one of God's most important prophets, but he was not the Son of God, was not divine, and was not a member of the Trinity. Rather, Muslims believe Jesus' creation was similar to Adam's creation, or Adam. Islam prevailed over the entire country until the colonizers subjugated the country and spread Christianity over the gamut of the Philippines. Muslim Filipinos have never captured by any colonizer and never altered their religion due to their strong resistance against other beliefs. In this generation, Muslim Filipinos presently live in the southern portion of the Philippines. They compose the region called Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, which is compressed of 5 provinces where the majority of the populations are Muslims: Maguindanao, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, Basilan, and Lanao del Sur. Muslims, or as they call themselves, the Moro or Bangsamoro or Moro Nation, are made up of 13 ethno-linguistic groups including the Iranon, Hama Mapon, Palawani, Mulbog, Kalagan, Kalibugan, Maguindanao, Maranao, Sama, Sangil, Tausug, Bajau, and Yakan. Now we have here the Maranao. Maranaos live in the provinces of Lanao del Sur, Lanao del Norte, and Marawi City. They are known as the people of the lake because they live around the lake called Lake Lanao. So they are also like Manobo, but not in the river, which is hailed as one of the ancient lakes in the world and the deepest and the second largest lake in the Philippines. Maranaos are presumed to be the last tribe who embraced Islam as their religion. Social structures of the Maranaos. There are 3 main distinct social classes, namely the first one, upper class called Malay-i Bangsa. There are the sultans, wealthy datus, and their relatives. They belong to the royal blood, so to speak of. The second one is lower class called Mabubay Bangsa or Matagtao. The small farmers and the artisans belong to this group. And the last class is the slave class called Bisaya. There are the servants and the laborers. Now let's talk about marriage. So in marriage, we have 2 types in Muslim marriage. The first one is polygamy. Is one of the traditions of Maranaos that is still practiced upon to this day. The next one, we have parental marriage. Parents will be the ones to adjudicate who will marry their son or daughter. The parents of both sides will have an agreement how much dowry will be given by the parents of groom side to the parents of bride's side.